After he had fed the people, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and precede him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. He went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Good morning. As we see in so many of the gospel passages the church uses each Sunday, there are many layers and aspects of the stories and different places we can go when thinking about reflecting or using the gospel passages for prayer. This past Sunday, it's no different. Last week, Jesus fed 5,000 men, or 200,000 people if you count women and children. Today, we see him going to the mountains to pray, to be with himself, to be in silence, to be with God, to be present with the ultimate presence, and to fill up after he spent a day of work, being with the people, healing, teaching, and again, feeding them. This is what I want to spend a few minutes focusing on today. If you read on the passage, you see another encounter between Jesus and Peter, questions of faith, doubts, being afraid, not being afraid. But I want to bring our attention back to a simple phrase found within the first two sentences. After he fed the people, he went up to the mountain by himself to pray. So, why do I choose to focus on these areas? Because if it works for Jesus, Son of Man, which we all are, but also Son of God, which we are not, if it works for him, what are we doing? If Jesus, knowing himself and all that he gives, all the energy he shares, all the healing that he brings to people, all his presence with them and their needs, if he needs time away for silence, time to fill up, time to be with himself and God, don't we need the same? Don't we need it? How many parents, how many of us collapse in the bed at the end of the day, emptied, just spent from everything that we've given to our kids or our spouse? It's all good stuff, but we fall into bed exhausted. Sleep a little bit, recover if we can, then wake up to do it all again. Especially with being home these past few months through COVID, with the kids out of school. We know what it is to be tired, to be spent. It's a good spend, but still we know what it is to pour out. And it leaves us empty sometimes. And we need time to renewal. We need to retreat. We need to commune with ourselves and with God, and through the gift of silence, which is the language of God. So that's what I'd like to share the next few minutes through this reflection. I'd like to bring you briefly to the mountaintop to listen to the gift of silence, or the whispers of the wind, as Elijah phrased it in the first reading. So if you're listening to this in your car, or taking a walk, or getting yourself ready in the kitchen or in your room, I ask you just to hit pause, come back to it later. But if you can, let's do it now. So I invite you to find a seat, take a few moments, make yourself comfortable, and allow yourself the gift of silence, to gift yourself a few moments of quiet and renewal this morning. To begin, please make yourself comfortable. Take a few deep breaths and just allow yourself to let go. Allow your mind to wander, or drift, without any real focus, as you take a couple deep breaths and then slowly close your eyes. Try to bring your attention to your breath. Allow yourself to let go of your thoughts as you let go of your breath. As you focus on your breathing, now try to allow your body to relax. Try to let yourself go, to settle into a few moments of stillness, of quiet, of peace. Try to let go of any tension that you have in your neck, tension you might feel in your shoulders or your back, tension in your face, even your jaw. Try to allow yourself to let go, to breathe, to bring relief to these areas of tension, and again, to let go, to be still. Allow yourself to enter into your center. Bring your attention in. Use your breaths to bring you in, to settle yourself enter into your center, or your core, or your depths. Allow yourself to rest for a few moments within. A few breaths. Allow yourself to sit in this space, in the silence. Allow yourself to be nourished, to be fed, to be renewed in your center, in your depth. Allow yourself to be in this place of union with yourself and with God. Allow your breath to fill you, the whispers of your heart to nourish you, the silence to speak to your soul. And then allow yourself a few more breaths, and you start to make your way out. You start to come back, refreshed out somehow. You see yourself even coming out to the center, returning to the surface. And again, taking a few more deep breaths. You begin to hear my voice a little bit more clearly. You begin to wiggle your toes, to squeeze your hands, to slowly open your eyes and come back to the now. In the gospel, as well as the first reading yesterday, Jesus and Elijah, the great Jewish prophet, went to the mountains to pray, to be with God. And in nature is a wonderful place to do that, to connect with Him and hear the whispers of the wind, to hear the Spirit calling us, bringing us to this union. But not everyone can do that every day. It's hard. So what can we do? We can turn in. We can connect with God within. If you believe that we're made in the image likeness of God, that God resides within each person, in our soul or our spirit, that we all have a divine essence, then we can connect with God within. We can center ourselves and listen to the silence and the whispers of our heart. We can transcend our world. We can experience union, if only for a few moments. And we can fill up like Jesus did on the mountaintop after His day of work. We simply have to go within, if only for a few breaths. So I invite you to try it a couple times this week. Gift yourself these moments of silence and to communion, or come to union with God. Peace.